be talking about cells. Cells. What are cells? Well, they're the basic building blocks of life. So that means that every living thing is made up of cells, which is our second note over here. Humans are made up of billions of trillions of cells. They're made up of tons of cells. Cells are really microscopic, so that's why humans, animals, plants, every living thing is made up of lots and lots of cells. There are prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. We'll talk more about those later. And then there are plant and animal cells. And plants and animals are eukaryotic cells. So, prokaryotic cells means that there's no nucleus, and an example of prokaryotic cells is bacteria. Eukaryotic cells have a nucleus, and some examples are animal cells and plant cells. You can see over here that in this picture there's a nucleus, and there's lots of other things which are part of cells. So now let's start with the plant cell. I went ahead and labeled all of these, but I'm going to explain what they do and why they're here. So the first thing to note is this word right here called organelles. Okay, what an organelle is that it's different organelles make up the cell. That's what an organelle is. So all these parts right here, over here, and over here, and over here, inside this yellow-orange substance is an organelle. Now, the first part over here is a cell wall. Its job is to just support and protect the cell from like microparticles, which could possibly damage the cell and possibly damage the living object. Next is a cell membrane. This is inside the cell wall, and it contains all the organelles. A cell membrane is basically a door. It lets some things in and it lets some things out. So not everything can come in and not everything can go out. Waste can leave from it, and only food or water or energy sources can come in. Next is the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is all of this orange marker inside the cell. It's a gel-like substance which is not as thick and wobbly as Jello, but it's a little more runny and it protects the organelles from bumping into each other and ruining each other's functions. The cytoplasm also has some molecules which perform the functions of life. Because remember, the cell is the smallest living thing that can possibly live. So to do that, to live, it needs to have the characteristics of life. And inside the cytoplasm, there are some things which have the characteristics of life also. Next is this vacuole. And vacuole, you can think of it as a suitcase. You temporarily store stuff inside of it, and then you take things out. In cells, you can temporarily store, say, water or food, or in a plant cell case, some pigment, which will turn the plant green. Now over here, to bottom left, there's mitochondria, right there. Mitochondria's job is to take in food and then turn it into energy for the plant to grow and live and reproduce. Next, there's a chloroplast. Chloroplasts, they have They have the green pigment inside of them to turn the plant green. And I know that I said that the vacuole has some also, but that's just for storage. When the chloroplasts get in oxygen and sunlight and water, they also get the pigment, and they also get the energy. So yes, and then there's the nucleus. Nucleus, right there. Nucleus is like the most important thing. It's like the manager of a business. It tells all the other organelles what to do, when to do it, how to do it, how much to do it, and it also controls the power of each thing. It's basically the mastermind. Now let's talk about animal cells. Animal cells are, well, you can obviously see the difference. Animal cells are less organized than plant cells. The first part that you see is this random shape. In a plant cell, if you remember, it's mostly a rectangular shape, but in an animal cell, it can be anything. And another thing that you might notice is that there's no cell wall surrounding the cell membrane. So there's only a cell membrane over here in a plant animal cell, not a cell wall. Cell membrane um, has the same functions as it does in the plant cell. It just lets in things and lets out other things. And now there's mitochondria. Mitochondria actually act a little bit different rather than a plant cell because plants survive on light. So that's why they have their chloroplasts. But mitochondria, it can be protein, lipids, um, carbohydrates, anything that a human eats that is transferred into energy by the mitochondria. Okay, now it's vacuole. Vacuole, okay, so it has the same purpose, but in animal cells there are smaller vacuoles, unlike in a plant cell. Plant cells have vacuoles which can sometimes even take up to like 1/3 or 1/4 of the cell. Over here, it's more like 1/10 or 1/12. And then there's the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is just the same thing. Gel-like substance um, protects the other organelles. And then the nucleus. Again, the nucleus just tells every organelle what to do, when to do it, how to do it. And yeah, that's that's basically the end of this basic cell video. Um, there are lots more things to sell than there are in this video, but I just tried to keep it short and sweet, and just to like make it easier for some people to understand. Be sure to like and subscribe, share and comment, and